Day 14, Day 14, Team 14, SDG 14, Life Below Water. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you as suitable to your time zone. Hearty welcome to the chief guests, world leaders, peacemakers, dignitaries, and special participants on this special evening for a spectacular session on United Nations Sustainability Development Goal number 14, that is Life Below Water. We are at the exciting phase of the World Peace Summit 2022 as we stand on the 14th day of such a mighty event that has brought together global experts, leaders, and humanitarians across the world that closely work on the SDG goals. And their voice counts. Yes, SDG Goal 14 is all about conserving and sustainably using the oceans, seas, and marine resources. I now invite Dr. Rajarao Pagidapalli, Chairman of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, founder of Telangana Kala Parikshad, global leader, peacemaker, and a humanitarian, to light up this part of the World Peace Summit 2022. Over to you, sir. Thank you, sir. Over to Dr. Vijay Carolyn, Managing Director of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, Chairman of Life Foundation, global leader, peacemaker, a humanitarian, and a change maker, to set the context for the day.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all the dignitaries, honorable chief guest, honorable keynote speakers, panel discussion speakers, and all the eminent speakers, viewers globally. I'm Dr. Vijay Carolyn, Managing Director of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. I would like to say about our organization and its works. Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council is established under Government of India, Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013. It is a symbol of unity, peace, and integrity. It mainly focuses on cultural exchange, research and development, education, upliftment of weaker section, and promote youth employment and abolish unemployment. In this way, we concentrate many activities and we want to attain United Nations established Sustainable Development Goals 1 to 17 at our level, as it has to be accomplished by 2030. So we are striving to attain those goals through our organization. Under the umbrella of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, there are two organizations, sister organizations. One is Telangana Kala Parishad and the other one is the Life Foundation. Telangana Kala Parishad mainly led by Dr. Rajarao Pagidapalli. The Life Foundation is led by Dr. Vijay Carolyn. Telangana Kala Parishad focus on migrant workers, farmers, and also promotes cultural exchange. And many activities, programs conducted physically on the ground of culture, heritage, and promotion of cultural exchange. The activities being carried to different states of India and applauded by all the leaders, chief ministers, and even the government of India. I invited Dr. Rajarao Pagadipalli to meet President of India, and Sir explained the objectives of Telangana Kala Parishad, and he was mainly appreciated the way he is carrying on the activities. And also he has shown solidarity to the farmers during COVID time. They suffered a lot, and even the migrant workers. In this way, Telangana Kala Parishad conducted various programs and shown solidarity to farmers and migrant workers when they are in tribulations. And the Life Foundation mainly focus on population under poverty line, especially girl children and women are centered. And to promote education, the Life Foundation established 2 study centers in slums of Hyderabad and imparting education to the girl and boys equally. And also to have the economical abundance, as women are in vulnerable state in slums, as the head of the families or least to bother about the family. So to have the self-sufficiency activities, we have set up tailoring center, and we are making the projects to establish even chalk making, candle making, and beautician courses. Very soon, we are promoting those activities, and we want to support the women, vulnerable women who are under below poverty line. And also, we conducted various counseling sessions and medical camp in the slums to lead a peaceful life among the families, especially as the head of the family are affected with bad habits. So we're trying our best level to have peace in the minds and the family of the slums. So we have conducted various counseling sessions during COVID time, and also supported the poor servant maids. And we have seen that provisions, food is supplied. And during exams time, we have seen that books, pads, stationery, other stationery is provided to the students so that they can write the exams comfortably. So whatever the requirement, we notice and we supply the Life Foundation. In this way, the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, the objectives will be established under the 2 sister organizations. And also now the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council is conducting World Peace Summit, which we want to see that peace will be prevailed globally, and also attain Sustainable Development Goals 1 to 17 and promote Sustainable Development Goals through Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. And you very clearly let all of us know what are the activities that is carried out by Royal Council and also the supporting organizations. So now it's time that I introduce my co-host, Mr. Tarun Tiwari. Brother, you may say hi to them and we can invite our first guest.
Yes, greetings everyone, greetings all excellency. Thank you for joining day 14, and over to you, Anita Garu.
Thank you, brother. So with excitement, let us invite our first guest, Dr. Ramya Nalli, CEO of Ramikos, author, ENT head and neck surgeon at JIPMA, speaker and educationist. She turned her dreams into reality by writing her debut book based on fantasy, adventure, and fiction named The Broken Pendant, which was widely covered by many popular print media in India. Over to you, and we are waiting to hear from you. In case you're trying to speak, you're not audible.
Yeah.
She's on
You
mute.
can hear me, Jim? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be able to hear me?
Yes, you're audible now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity today to talk with you all today. And this is a wonderful topic to be covered. And I'm so grateful to Mr. Raja Rao ji and ma'am. It's really a wonderful topic of that you have mentioned and goals that you are striving for. And for today's summit is that it is about the Sustainable Development Goals 14. What are these actually? There are about these national goals are actually done by United Nations 2015, and it is not only the one goal, but there are about 17 goals that are done, and out of which number 14 is the life below the water. Actually, what is this actually? There are various other goals like 1 to 70. If you have idea about that, it is like no poverty, no hunger, and good health, and gender equality, and affordable studies, and decent work, and industrial and innovation, and about prevention of inequality and sustainable cities, and development of the consumption and responsible consumptions and the climate actions. And these are all what all the United Nations have given, out of which this sustainable goal, development goal 14 is all about life below the water. We all know that what is life below the water is about the creatures that are living in the water. Why we are very much concerned about that? Because this really hampers what we are doing today, really hampers the life of the creatures which are unfortunately affected by many things. Examples, Carol tell you, these goals have 10 goals actually, out of which 7 goals are outcome targets and the last 3 goals are achieving targets. The first one is that reducing the marine pollution, and later on I will be coming up. So why are these very much important? Because 30% of marine habitats have been already destroyed by us. Yes, 30%. And 30% of world fish stocks have been exploited, and 5 tons of plastic pollution has been already released in the oceans, and 20% of the coral reefs have been already destroyed irreversibly, and 15% of them has been, 25% of them has already started going into the irreversible damage. And 1 million seabirds are being destroyed every year, and 1 lakh mammalian creatures have been destroyed every year. So this is a large quantity. And apart from that, 90% of seabirds that are full marks have plastic in their guts. That is in Norway, which are present. These are the birds from the Norway. But it is unfortunate that this much of destruction is being done by the human. And apart from that, we are also concerned about these irreversible, if we are able to do anything that can be irreversible for the creatures. Because it is not only for us, but also for the creatures that are present. How are we affecting that? It is by reducing the marine pollution. That is, there are 2 types of indexes that are indicative. That is ICEP, that is Index of Coastal Eutrophication, and floating plastic debris. The more the less, smaller the smaller debris is. Like it is divided into 2 types, that is micro and macro. If micro is less than 4.75 mm, the more the smaller size, it gets settled into the seabed, and the more creatures will be eating the plastics. Apart from that, you have to restore the ecosystem also. That comes into the 14.2. That is like these 14, the goal 14 is divided into various things. That is 7 types. That is 14.1, 14.2, 14. These are all kept under United Nations. Why it is kept means each has their own significance. That is 14.2 is to restore the ecosystem, and 14.3 is to reduce the ocean acidification. What is ocean acidification? Actually, this is due to the increase in the fuel consumption. That is the means like fossil fuel. we are burning the fossil fuel, and most of that is converting into the carbon dioxide, and the carbon dioxide is going into the atmosphere, and it is not stopping there. As we are going to the carbon dioxide, that is mixing with the water, because most of the earth is made up of water, and the carbon dioxide is getting with water and converting into H2CO3, that is carbonic acid. And this carbonic acid is dividing into bicarbonate ions and hydrogen ions, which increases the acidity of the water and decreasing the pH. Indirectly, we are making the sea creatures dip into the acid. And the more the acid, the more creatures are dying, and the more coral reefs and more irreversible damage we are doing to the people and as well the creatures. There no way. It's like we are damaging the total ecosystem as such. Finally, we end up with misery to ourselves alone. And apart from that 14.4, that is the sustainable fishing. The more the fishing we are doing, the more the deaths of the fishes and the more the ecosystem has been damaging. Why it is? Because at least we are exploiting more than 30% of the sea creatures, especially fishes. End of the day, there will be no sea fishes in the future. So the more the ecosystem, the balance of the ecosystem is getting damaged by killing the sea creatures, the more it is indirectly affecting us. And conserving the coastal and the marine has to be increased to 10%. That is what they do. Due to the delay of this few goals because of the COVID, but still we are doing and we are striving to get it done. Only then means like it is not only the 1% we can get by knowledge. This whole summit is about giving knowledge to different people. It is only by giving knowledge what I can do it for myself. There are many things, to be frank, there are many things I have learned today. There are many things I have learned so that you get educated and you can educate the other people so that they will be decreasing it. And using of the plastic, these are the main things that we can reduce and we can do some honor to the sea creatures. And end of the thing, that is 14.6, that is about the contribution of the decreasing subsidies. What are the subsidies that are present by the government? You have to decrease our subsidies that are including the fisheries, especially. If you prohibit the fishery subsidies, that will increase the illegal fishing, then the more it will be decreased, because illegal fishing is about $36 billion per year it's been exploited. Directly, you are promoting different other type of means decrease in other type of SDGs. I'll be telling. Apart from that, target 14A and 14B is this. That is last one. That is to increase the scientific knowledge of the research. It is like we have to promote the people who are doing scientific knowledge and support the small scale fisheries, about people who are depending on the small scale fisheries, like developing countries and non-developing countries, so that they will be getting employment regarding this. Apart from that, this is not only SDG 14 is affecting only 14, but also it is affecting different SDGs, that is goals that is kept by the UK, United Nations, that is that SDG 13, that is protecting the world's oceans. It's like if you protect the SDG 14, you will protect the SDG 3, that is 13, that is protecting the world oceans. And apart from that, what we are doing is the more the global warming is present, there is increase in 20 centimeters of sea level of the coast. That is so much. We are drowning ourselves. The land is getting drowned. The more water is getting up. And there is a 30% increase in the acidity because of the global warming alone. Apart from that, SDG 1, Sustainable Development Goals 1 and 2, that is no poverty and hunger. These are also affecting because of the reduced fisheries, because of various others, because we are unlimitedly exploiting the fishes. And SDG 3, that is good health and well-being. The more the plastics in the ocean, the more we will consume the fish, the more it will be indirectly affecting our gut and our immune system. And SDG 12, that is responsible consumption and industries. Industries also include this corporate level of fishing also. There are various organizations that have got 5,000 organizations which are really striving to make it happen. And finally, we are coming today to educate ourselves about what really SDG Goal 14, Sustainable Goal 14 is all about. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ramya ji. It's really nice to know all the information you gathered and you provided us. It's really very, very exploiting because as we can see, healthy oceans and sea are the essential to our existence, and they cover 70% of our planet. We rely on them for food, energy, water. So it's yes, it's definitely interconnected. And thank you so much for your precious and informative speech. Thank you so much, madam. Over to you, Anita madam, for inviting our next chief guest.
Thank you, brother. We have a wonderful lineup today, and we have a very prestigious guest with us. Let me call upon Engineer Ravishankar Kumar, founder IDYM Group of Companies. He is a visionary and the founder of IDYM Foundation. He has done many national and international projects in the field of space technology, hydroponics, robotics, automobile, solar energy, and has received many international and national awards in recognition for his work. He has received the Bharat Gaurav Award for helping the families of armed forces. With the vision of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he started IDBM with the IDYM with the idea of igniting dreams of young minds. IDYM has conducted space exploration programs across all the states of India, plus 4 union territories, as well as in 29 other countries. During this mission, IDYM has given 26,000 plus students training free of cost on satellite and rocket technology. With great honor, I'd like to invite our guest, Mr. Ravishankar, to share his thoughts on Sustainability Development Goal number 14. It's a pleasure to have you with us, and we can't wait to hear you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much to
there is a lag in your network, sir.
To Dr. Rajarao, every country, sir, we will do something for the nation, and he is the one who will do something for the country. Seeing this from past 13 days in the YouTube of Times India TV, and I'm seeing that a lot of people are, giving their thought process about SDG goals. And today also, I have got the opportunity to share my thought about SDG goals. It's a great
So sorry to intrude. There is a lag, I think, in your network.
We have got the topic life below the water. You all know very well that this marine life is very important. And a few years back, Russia. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
So there's a lag in your network.
Me,
we're not able to make out.
Hello. Hello.
Sir, would you be able to rejoin us? The network isn't steady, sir.
1 second, ma'am. I will rejoin. Sure. Soon.
Sure.
They will give me a little time. Yeah, give me little.
Sure,
you
sir.
can proceed.
No problem.
You can proceed.
Sure. Over to you, Tarunji.
Yes. Meanwhile, as Dr. Raja sir said, Engineer Ravishankar sir is joining us. We have great lady speaker with us, Miss Poonam Dogra. She is an electrical engineer, certified energy manager, owner of Vechitra Enterprises, and secretary of IAEMP Delhi, and the member of Mission Sustainable India. So I would like to invite Honorable Excellency Miss Poonam Dogra, Madam. The floor is yours, Honorable Poonam Dogra, Madam.
Okay. Namaskar to all the members and all the organizers of this program. And I'm very thankful to Raja Rao sir that he has given me this opportunity to talk on this topic of SDG, Goal 14, which is life underwater. As I'm an electric engineer and I'm secretary of IMP Delhi. We are Indian Association of Energy Management Professionals. So my background is little like energy related work, but the Mission Sustainable India is it is of whole world. It is of we all, and we all have to participate. We all have to give something to contribute something to achieve these 13 SD goals. So I am very thankful that I am contributing my part to be a speaker or to gain knowledge and to spread knowledge, as Ramya and Liji said. We should contribute our part on this SDG. So as this life below water, and as Ramya said that there are 10 targets to be achieved by 2030. Those are reduce marine pollution, protect and restore ecosystem, and reduce ocean acidification, sustainable fishing, and coastal and marine areas, and should be added. So all the things. But what I feel that we are doing our work on these fields, but all the goals, all the LDs are involved, equally involved. Like you might have heard about the news that due to algae formation, due to pollution, many Ganga about that in Chile. So these news are very wrenching, very heart wrenching. So for these we have to work on our climate changes. We have to work on the factors that are polluting the whole environment. Not only like water cleaning is one of the major factors, and like missions like Clean Ganga, Namami Ganga, but cleaning and with that, the whole ecosystem should be kept in mind. Like we have to work increase in temperature. So and many factors are working on these, like pollution, tree cutting, and we should work on these. So many factors, as I have said, the rapid many hydro projects, and I am from Uttarakhand, and I have seen rivers which were flooding, which have plenty of water, like 10 years back or 20 years back, are now dry. So the reason behind it is all like the whole contribution is of whole as a climate change, temperature rising, we are cutting trees, and due to this, water is in like life underwater is affecting. So we have to work on all the factors equally. We have to educate people. We have to work on this on ground level. We have to know these sustainable development goals are, but the people who are working at ground level, people who are there, who are cutting trees and who are polluting it, or we can say we have to get them by going to their level. And so this is how we can work. And AMP also, we have this mission Sustainable India, we are working on it. And through IAMP also, we are working on energy conservation and energy conservation. We are also providing virtual academic sessions for engineers, for people, how we can achieve, and how many like education is one of the factors which will act as a key factor to achieve all these 17 goals. So this is what I think. Now over to you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Poonam Dogra Madam. There was some technical glitch, some disturbance in voice, but by the way, yes, mass contribution is very, very essential, and we have to take care of all the, this climate things, because as not only we, 70% of the world is water, and yes, and most of us are, we are dependent for the rain, we are dependent for the foods, and many things are dependent there, and we have to take care of it. Thank you so much for your insightful solution. Now,
thank you.
Coming to our next chief guest speaker, I would like to invite one great peace leader, life coach from Nigeria. Is Dr. Adrian Dashley. Please welcome Dr. Adrian. Hello, Doctor. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Yes, a pleasant good morning. I bring you greetings on behalf of the World Peace Climate Change Diplomatic Organization in Nigeria and our global president, Dr. Afolabi Abolola. And from the Republic of Barbados, our very own Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Amor Motley, who has spent years in campaigning against pollution, climate change, and deforestation. With the vision of making Barbados a global environmental hub, many of you can recall the stance that she took in her address at the United Nations General Assembly, demanding that more be done to address the effects of climate disaster. The organizer and chairman of the Vashnu Humanity United International Royal Council, Dr. Raja Pagadepili, of this Global Climate Summit 2022. Good morning, panel, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I speak briefly on Sustainable Development Goal 14, Life Below Water. This is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals established by the United Nations in 2015, as you know. However, see, healthy oceans and seas are essential to our existence. Yet we have managed to do very great damage to these precious resources that we as a species have come to call our own. We must and can do better. Let's start with some statistics. Fact number one, 75%, the ocean covers 3/4 of the Earth's surface and represents 99% of living space on the planet by volume. The ocean contains nearly 200,000 identified species, but the actual number of species that are unknown are in the millions. As much as 40% of the ocean is heavily polluted. Depleted fisheries, loss of coastal habitats, and other human activities, has impacted our oceans. The ocean absorbs about 30% of carbon dioxide produced by humans, buffering the impacts of global warming. More than 3 billion people depend on our marine and coastal biodiversity for their livelihood. I'm speaking from Barbados in the Caribbean, a place where tourism is one of our major forces for our economy. The market value of marine and coastal resources and industries is estimated at US $3 trillion per year, about 5% of the global GDP. More than 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. Since it's difficult to protect what we don't know, only about 7% of the world's oceans are designated as marine protected areas. Now, there is a large interrelation between humanity and our oceans, and that's what I want to focus on, the interrelation between humanity and our oceans. The ocean has major benefits, especially to persons living near the coast, providing food, medicine, and air that we breathe. But even if we don't live close to the sea, we all contribute to the degradation of life below water. Our waste is found in massive floating garbage in the islands, several parts of the ocean. Our behavior as seafood consumers can contribute to overfishing. Our choice in tourism, destinations, and activities can impact marine habitats. Becoming aware of and understanding the links between human activity and the marine ecosystems can help to limit the human impact that we have. We can buy only sustainable harvested fish, for example, and we can reduce our use of plastics. We can select our holiday destinations and take part in beach cleaning. There are many ways to get involved, and I'll tell you more about that as we go on. Oceans can bring much more to the table if we would simply explore more of them. So given the benefits mentioned before, how much of the ocean is explored? According to the National Ocean Service, just 5% of the Earth's oceans have been explored and charted. The rest remains mostly undiscovered and unseen by humans. Now let's talk about the correlation between the human species, ocean, and climate change. The ocean absorbs 30%. This is how important the ocean is. It absorbs 30% of carbon dioxide produced by us. And this counteracts the impact of global temperature rise. Carbon emissions from human activities is causing the ocean warming, the acidification that was mentioned, for example, by Dr. Raya, and the ocean loss. We are not living on this planet on our own. We are living in a biosphere. We are part of this system. And we don't need to have technical terms to talk about humanity. We don't need to have technical terms to talk about what it means to live as a family, as humans, amongst all the other species in our biosphere. The oceans have also absorbed more than 90% of the excess heat in the climate system. 90%. Let's think about that for a second. When we have our conferences, we talk, we bring facts, and we bring information, but then there's action that we need to take. And as a humanitarian, as an ambassador, it is my job to talk not only about what we have to do, but what can we do? What can we do in our own spheres of influence? That's what I'm talking about. Now, the ocean and people and biodiversity has to live together. So how do we live together with what we only visit on weekends with our children? For example, just a few weeks ago, I visited the ocean at the beach here in Barbados, and the amount of our shores that are covered with sargassum, for example, is appalling. And it is appalling from the perspective of this is something that happens over time. When I left my country a few years ago, more than 8 years ago, this was not such a big problem. But now in January, we see the algae bloom coming on the ocean floor. We have to do better, and we can do better. That's why it's a pleasure to be here, because we have to take our education, we have to take our position, we have to take our influence, and we have to find a way to work together. We have to, in Barbados, we have a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And I take that same approach as it relates to the climate and peace and security. Because if we don't come together as a people, as a nation, if we don't come together as leaders, if we don't come together as policymakers, we will not make a difference in our society. And our generation is dependent on us. Our generation is dependent on us. As I said earlier, the market value of marine and coastal resources and industry is estimated at $3 trillion, American dollars per year. And what that really means is that we can't ignore the ocean. We can't say it is someone else's problem, or it will be addressed by scientists, climate scientists, for example. We can't say it will be addressed by persons who are in their lab coats. We have to now become the persons who are responsible for our world. And there are many organizations who are doing great, fantastic jobs around the world, but we need more. We need to get together and look at what those organizations are doing and what they are not doing. What are the governance policies that we need to implement to manage our seas? It's not a their problem, it's our problem. I have taken on as a humanitarian this perspective, this project of our oceans, because I believe that we have the capacity within all of us. We've had 3 speakers so far in this wonderful presentation, and they've all brought amazing information and a great presentation to us. How can we look at our fisheries? Marine fisheries directly or indirectly employ more than 200 million people. 200 million people are directly affected by the oceans. That's our grandmother, our uncles, our aunts, sometimes our fathers, our mothers, our sisters, our brothers. And the deterioration of our waters is something that we need to address. We no longer can sit back and say, you know what, it's the politicians' responsibility. It's now our responsibility. And with our global collaboration that is taking place all around the world, look at our conference. With all the leaders coming together, we must be able to go away and say, how can I make that difference? How can I make that difference in my sphere of influence? I don't necessarily have to be an ambassador to make a difference. We've been making differences for many, many, many years. Let's talk now about the eutrophication of the ocean. This is more prevalent and widespread in the environmental areas. For example, in the islands, in Barbados, for example, is a natural process that slowly covers the ocean floors, and you don't see it coming. You just see the result of it. How many of you have gone to the beach recently and you can't go to the places where you used to go and bathe with your children? A thing that was a pastime for the former generation, we can no longer do it. We can't do it without having to clean the beaches. We are responsible. Now, if we talk about these changes that we have to take and make in every facet of our society, then we need to talk about corporate responsibility. We need to talk about the organizations that are completely aware of the situation but do nothing. We need to hold them accountable. We need to hold them to a high standard. And we don't need to be afraid of the big organizations. We need to let them know that you need us. They need us. They need our resources for the economy to grow. And so if you are here and you are participating in this, I don't want us to have another conversation about the climate. I want us to think seriously about what are we going to do after we turn off our telephones and disconnect from our seminars today. What are we going to do about our climate? What are we going to do about our world? Now, without a concerted effort, coastal eutrophication, which I mentioned earlier, is expected to increase in 20% of large marine ecosystems by 2050. That is roughly 80% of the marine and coastal areas. So we in Barbados, we have beautiful coral, for example. No more of that. Imagine the beautiful places that we call home being covered by these invisible and yet visible enemies in our climate. Pollution originates on land, including agriculture runoff, pesticides, plastics, and untreated sewage. Around the world, 1 million plastic drinking bottles are purchased every minute. 1 million. While up to 5 trillion single-use plastic bags are used worldwide every year. Around 680 million people live in low-lying coastal zones. And that is expected to increase by 2050 to 1 billion. Imagine when we hear about persons being displaced by war, for example, where would they go? See, we have to understand that when we talk about sustainability, we're talking about how can we take the resources that we have, expand the resources that we have, make something from the resources that we have, and yet be able to provide for our generation to come. This means organizations who create products have to start looking at sustainable products. And that means if I create a computer, how can I make my computer sustainable to the society? It means persons like Apple and Google have a serious responsibility to corporate social responsibility. It means that politicians have to start looking at greening their environment, asking themselves, how does green tourism impact the economy? It means that we have to understand that it's no longer the responsibility of others, it's our responsibility. Look at everything that is going on around us and ask ourselves, if it is like this, how can we make it better? Sustainable development is something on the lips of every single leader across the world, both in large organizations and small organizations. Yet around 80% of the volume of international trade in goods and services is carried by sea. And the percentage is even higher for most developing countries like Barbados. So what that means is because lots of young people say to me, Adrian, I don't understand why I should be interested in cleaning the beaches. But what they don't correlate is that if the beaches are dirty and we have no place for the ships to dock, we can't have the imported goods that we have imported. We can't export. It impacts our economy. And so whether or not I am an economist or I am a lawyer, doesn't matter what position I hold. It matters to me because it's going to affect our generations to come. The spread of COVID-19 has disrupted lives, communities, and economies worldwide. Now, why am I talking about COVID? Well, for those of you who depend on the oceans for livelihood, after COVID, imagine how many businesses had to close because they depend on China, because they depend on Japan. You see, we're not talking about a problem that is somewhere over there. We're talking about a problem that is here. We at the World Peace Climate Change Diplomatic Organization, and our goal is to make a difference showing the correlation between peace and security, diplomacy and climate change. They're no longer unrelated, they're all together. Because when you go into sustainable development, you're going to learn that sustainable development touches every single area of our sectors. Every sector is affected by any other area. And when Dr. Raya spoke earlier, she mentioned the correlation between these goals. They are important. What we are doing as an organization, as individuals in our communities, makes a difference. It is a pleasure to be here to address you, to share with you. As you can see, I'm passionate because I believe that we need to do better, and we can do better. The new relationship between humanity and the ocean is a required prerequisite. We need to understand that we depend on the oceans as much as the oceans depend on us. And I dare say that we depend more on the oceans than the oceans depend on us. Not only for our livelihood, but also how it actually impacts the sphere around us that makes us call ourselves human. The air that we breathe, when we step outside our door and we breathe in, that's because of our oceans. That's because of the work that the oceans are doing. And so water bodies such as oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, marshes, and bays collectively host 2.2 million plant species and other diverse wildlife. And so we're not talking about a body that is not related to us. We're talking about a body that is definitely related to us. And so when we start talking about how we're going to make this world a better place, we have to start talking about the resources. Who has the resources? The organizations that has the resources. We have to start lobbying our governments. We have to start lobbying our governments. We have to lobby our politicians. We have to go to places where they have the influence. And we have to say, you have to do better. So in order for me to vote for you in my community, this is how we bring it down to us. In order for me to vote for you, I want to know what your community policies are, what your environmental policies are. What is your social responsibility to my community? I understand that you want to create jobs, but how are those jobs going to actually help the biosphere? Here in Barbados, we have a huge, thriving blue economy. And our Barbados Prime Minister has done phenomenal work in pushing forth the understanding that we are, as a people, have to come together and we have to make the difference that we want to see in the world. These are the resources from where we derive food, medicines, and livelihoods that drive our social economic development. So in order for us as a people to socially relate to each other, we have to have healthy economics. In order for us to have healthy economics, we have to make sure that we are in a core relationship with everything around us. We have to make sure that the things around us are not in total opposition to us, and we are not in opposition to the things around us. We have to live together. If you live in your house with your family, you have to live together as a family. The world is a family. The human species is a family. The sea creatures is a family, and they're all part of our family. And so I want to say, thank you so very much to each and every one of you who've listened to me, because you see the total ocean asset base of the Western Indian Ocean region, including Comoros, France, Kenya, Madagascar, Mauritius, the Mozambique, Seychelles, Somalia, South Africa, and Tanzania is at least US $3.8 billion. And if we want to wrap our brain around that, it means that we need to understand how a healthy ocean contributes. It contributes by providing 1.5 trillion to the global economy annually and has an estimated net asset of $24 trillion. And when the young people ask me, so why should I be interested? This is the reasons why. The reasons why is because the ocean is the source of millions of jobs, fishing, tourism, transportation, and it powers economic growth. With more than 90% of trade using sea routes as a source of jobs for millions of people. And so the next time you get on a bus, take a train, drive your car, walk with your kids, remember this. What are we doing for our oceans? And ask yourself, how much is our oceans doing for us? I am Dr. Adrian Daisley, Peace Ambassador with World Peace Climate Change Diplomatic Organization, and everything that we do matters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador Daisley. We are stunned actually with whatever data points that you shared and the pain with which you spoke. So it all stems from the fact that we coexist and we are not on top of any other species on this earth. So the moment that realization happens and everything else will fall in place, we'll do the right set of things when we know that we coexist, and over a period of time, we will even kill our own breath in our own species at some point if we don't take action now. So on that note, with a very, very powerful insight from Ambassador Daisley, we'll move to the next speaker. And I'd like to welcome Ms. Meeta Mahapatra, author with a yogic vision, motivational speaker, Vice President, Rajasthan at World Book of Records, and she has been appreciated by Golden Book of Earth. Welcome you, and we are waiting to hear from you.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Greetings to all of you. Special thanks to Raja Raoji, Chairman of the World Peace Committee, for organizing this magnificent event to deliberate on the burning topics affecting the mankind globally. Feeling hugely humbled and privileged by getting an opportunity to talk on the topic life below water before the August audience. Oceans are our planet's life support and regulate the global climate system. They are the world's largest ecosystem, home to nearly 1 million known species and containing vast untapped potential for scientific discovery. Oceans and fisheries continue to support the global population's economic, social, and environmental needs. And despite the critical importance of conserving oceans, decades of irresponsible exploitation have led to an alarming level of degradation. What are the big threats to life below water? Overfishing and unsustainable aquaculture give emphasis on the fact that illegal, unreported, or unregulated fishing accounts for as much as 53% of reported catch. When unchecked, fish farming has led to increased pollution and the loss of species diversification. The climate change and acidification signifies the fact that oceans have been absorbing around 93% of excess heat produced by greenhouse gas emissions. Oceans are getting increasingly warmer, acidic, and less oxygenated as a result. Plastics have also polluted the oceans, and an estimated 8 million tons of plastic waste go into the marine environment every year. Plastic contamination of the marine food chain also has a trickle-down effect. which means it also negatively impacts fish and the shellfish for human consumption. Nutrient runoff, pesticides, and industrial chemicals are the pollutants that have long half-lives accumulated over time and have largely unknown impacts. We can, however, link them to low levels of oxygen in water as well as deformation, cancer, and reproductive failure. Again, they affect marine species directly and humans indirectly. Oil spills cause a lot of damage to the marine environment. They cause about 12% of the ocean pollution. Another cause of ocean pollution is solid garbage, meaning glass bottles, plastic bags, shoes, boxes, etc. If those materials are not properly disposed of, then it can go to the sea and hurt the small marine, all marine animals. Toxic chemicals released into the ocean contaminate even the tiniest marine animals. Toxic chemicals can have different effects on different species because of the high or low contamination level the animals have been exposed to. What we can do in this critical time, in this critical situation? Use on the sustainable aquaculture when properly regulated. Aquaculture can be good for marine ecosystems, produce very little waste, and promote species diversification. And another is promote alternatives to plastic and work to remove the plastic that is currently polluting our oceans and seas. Another important issue is to find alternatives to toxic compounds for open ocean and deep sea areas. Deep sea areas, sustainability can be achieved only cooperation to protect vulnerable habitats. Equitably, managed systems of government protected areas should be pursued to conserve biodiversity and ensure a sustainable future for the fishing industry. In 2017, the United Nations held its first ocean conference to mobilize action for the conservation and sustainable use of all marine resources, recognizing its importance to humanity's well-being. It was kicked off as part of the 2030 agenda for the sustainable development, identifying 17 sustainability goals with the aim to balance our economic, environmental, and social needs. Sustainable Development Goal 14 focuses on life below water, setting out to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for the sustainable development. The UN's sub-goals for life below water include reduce marine pollution, promote, protect and restore ecosystems, reduce ocean acidification, and sustainably farm fish. Conserve coastal and marine areas and subsidies contributing to overfishing. Increase the economic benefits from sustainable use of marine resources, increase scientific knowledge, research, and the technology for ocean health. Always support the small scale fishers by local and certified fish. You can support small scale producers by shopping in local markets and shops. Implement and enforce international sea law. You know, oceans and seas cover more than 2/3 of the Earth's surface and contain 97% of the planet's water. They provide us with an important source of food and other natural resources, including medicines, biofuels, and other products, and other many things. The marine environment is therefore an important source of jobs, that is fishery and tourism, etc. But unfortunately, oceans, seas, and marine resources are increasingly being degraded by human activities that harm marine life, undermine coastal communities, and negatively affect human health. The world's ocean, their the temperature, chemistry, currents, and life drive global systems that make the Earth habitable for mankind. Our rainwater, drinking water, weather, climate, coastal lines, much of our food and even the oxygen in the air we breathe are ultimately provided and regulated by the sea. Careful management of this essential global resource is a key feature of a sustainable future. Thanks a lot. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Excellency. And it's really insightful. And all your statics, your solutions, very much relevant, I can feel. And yes, irresponsible behavior of humans are impacting very much, especially that plastic issue. Plastic is a very, very big concern for all of us. And yes, this is our global responsibility. And definitely, air, rain, all are regulated by the oceans. Definitely, madam, it's a really very good explanation and speech. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Tarunji. Thanks a lot.
Now, as our engineer Ravishankar ji is already joined again, so I would like to call him. Before I call him, I would like to tell a few words about him. He's founder of IDYM group of companies. He's a visionary. He's a founder of IDYM Foundation. He has done many national and international projects in the field of space technology, robotics, automobile, solar energy, and especially for satellite and space exploration program. So with great honor, I would like to invite our prestigious chief guest, Mr. Ravishankar ji, to share his thought on Sustainable Development Goal number 14. Over to you, Honorable Sir.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you so much to everyone. Sorry for inconvenience. Actually, I was facing some network issues, so I was not able to join. But it's program of Dr. Rajarao with Pallipalli. So I don't want to miss that. So thank you so much for giving me one more time chance. It is visible now? Okay. The topic is very interesting, as already so many speakers have spoken about life below water. It is very, very interesting topic because 70% of everything of this universe depend upon waters. When we talk about water, everything we are living today just because of water. And we are talking about life below water. So you know that a few years back, Russia have tested nuclear test in some sea coastal area, and so many marine marine things were died. तो ऐसी कोई भी चीज नहीं होनी चाहिए जिससे हमारे जो मरीन है उनको कोई दिक्कत आए, जैसे फिश हो गए, ये सब जो वाटर के नीचे रह रहे हैं, जैसे हमारे अंदर हाउ वी आर लिविंग, दे आर आल्सो लिविंग लाइक अस। हमें ऐसा कोई भी हरकत नहीं करना चाहिए जिससे उन्हें नुकसान पहुंचे। सबसे पहली चीज हमें इस बात का ध्यान रखना चाहिए। यू ऑल नो दैट वी ऑल आर फेसिंग लॉट ऑफ वाटर स्कार्सिटी प्रॉब्लम। हम सभी लोग पानी की समस्या से बहुत बुरी तरह से झेल रहे हैं और हम सभी को इसके लिए आगे आने की जरूरत है। आप सभी लोग जानते हो कि यू ऑल नो दैट वी हैव अ वेरी फ्यू परसेंटेज ऑफ ड्रिंकिंग वाटर और ऑलरेडी ग्राउंड वाटर का लेवल बहुत नीचे चला गया है। तो अगर हम इन चीजों पर काम करना चालू नहीं करेंगे तो हम एक समय ऐसा आएगा कि हम पूरी तरह से पिघल जाएंगे। और एवरी टाइम व्हेन वी स्पीक टू द पीपल दे से दैट गवर्नमेंट विल डू। हमें गवर्नमेंट पर सब चीजों के लिए डिपेंड नहीं रहना चाहिए। हमें 2 स्टेप आगे आना है, हम सभी को साथ में मिलकर काम करना। जिस तरह का इनिशिएटिव कैरोलिन मैम और राजा राव सर ने लिया है, उस तरह की इनिशिएटिव और जो हर स्पीकर जो डिफरेंट कंट्री से बात कर रहे हैं, तो ऐसे काफी सारे लोग मिलकर के इस समस्या का समाधान कर सकते हैं। आप देखते हो कि आजकल लोग जो है काफी इरेस्पॉन्सिबल है। व्हाट पीपल डू इज दैट दे थ्रो द प्लास्टिक बैग्स इन द वाटर। दैट इज वेरी रॉन्ग। हमें सरकार ने कहीं पर नहीं बोला है कि हमें प्लास्टिक का बैग है जो पानी में फेंकना चाहिए, और हर चीज के लिए सरकार एक प्रोटेक्शन नहीं रखेगी कि आप पानी फेंकोगे तो उसका फाइन लगेगा। तो व्हाट वी हैव टू डू बीइंग अ सिटीजन ऑफ दिस नेशन, हमने इस धरती माता में पैदा लिया है, तो ये हमारी जिम्मेवारी है, ये हम सभी का कर्तव्य है कि हम उस प्लास्टिक की बैग को वाटर में थ्रो नहीं करें। When we are throwing that plastic bag in the water, क्या हो रहा है? That is going मछली खा रही है और बाद में बहुत सारे जो हमारे मरीन एनिमल्स हैं वो मर जा रहे हैं। तो इन सभी चीजों का हमें बहुत ध्यान रखना है। दूसरी चीजों का ध्यान क्या रखना है कि एसिडिफिकेशन। अभी देखो कि बहुत ज्यादा पोल्यूटेड चीजें, जैसे आई बिलोंग टू पटना, इट इज वेरी नियर टू गंगा रिवर। तो मैं क्या देखता हूँ कि मैं अपनी सिटी के बारे में आप लोग को बता रहा हूँ कि लोग जो होते हैं वो सभी गंदी चीजों को गंगा नदी में छोड़ देते हैं। और गंगा रिवर इज कनेक्टेड टू वेस्ट बे ऑफ बंगाल, और वो सभी चीजें जो प्लास्टिक के बैग्स हो गए, जितने कचरे हो गए, वो पानी में घुल के चले जाते हैं। बाद में क्या होगा कि वही चीजें वो एनिमल्स ले लेंगे, खा लेंगे, और वो बहुत बड़ा लॉस हो सकता है। सो व्हाट वी ऑल हैव टू डू इज दैट वी शुड नॉट डिपेंड ओनली ऑन द गवर्नमेंट। हमें खुद से एक इनिशिएटिव लेनी चाहिए। जैसे राजा राव सर ने अभी एक प्रोग्राम वर्ल्ड पीस समिट रखा है कि यहाँ पर सभी देश के लोग आके बात करेंगे। ऐसे इनिशिएटिव हर इंसान को लेना चाहिए, और हमें इम्पोर्टेंस ये बताना चाहिए कि आप एक इंडिविजुअल किस तरह से अपनी सोसाइटी में चेंज ला सकते हो। आपके घर का एक छोटा सा बच्चा अगर अपने गांव में बोलेगा कि प्लास्टिक की बैग आप पानी में थ्रो नहीं करें, तो बहुत बड़ा चेंज ला सकता है। तो ऐसी छोटी छोटी अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम चला करके भी हम इन चीजों पर बहुत कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। हमें इन चीजों को पूरी तरह से ध्यान रखना है कि हम वाटर पोल्यूशन पर कंट्रोल करें, हम गंदी चीजों को पानी में मत फेंकें, और साथ ही साथ ग्राउंड वाटर की जो भी कंडीशन है, आप सभी लोग जानते हो कि स्पेशली व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट साउथ इंडियन स्टेट, और अभी महाराष्ट्र की मैं बात बता रहा हूँ कि और पानी की काफी समस्या है, गुजरात में काफी पानी की समस्या है। तो इन सभी चीजों पर हम सबको काम करना पड़ेगा, और हम सबको मिलकर काम करना पड़ेगा, रादर देन पूरा अपना वी कैन से दैट सब कुछ गवर्नमेंट करेगी तो नहीं होगा। एंड वी हैव आवर गवर्नमेंट हैव टेकन सो मेनी इनिशिएटिव लाइक गंगा सफाई अभियान भी भारत सरकार चला रही है। ऐसे इनिशिएटिव हर गवर्नमेंट को लेने चाहिए, और जितनी भी हमारे रिवर से उनकी रिसाइकलिंग जो उसके अंदर वेस्ट चली जाती है उसका रिसाइकलिंग होना चाहिए, कि वो सभी चीजें जो सी के अंदर नहीं जाए। अभी आप देख रहे हो कि रशिया यूक्रेन के बीच में वॉर चल रहा है। अभी उसका एक रशिया का बहुत बड़ा शिप पानी के अंदर चला गया था। तो ऑयल का रिसाव होने के कारण भी क्या होता है कि वो मरीन लाइफ को इफेक्ट करता है. वी ऑल शुड वर्क ऑन दैट. ये छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं जिस पर हर देश काम कर सकते हैं. हम सभी काम कर सकते हैं. अगर हम लोग साथ में मिलकर काम करेंगे तो आज जो राजा राव सर ने एक इनिशिएटिव लिया है कि नहीं भाई मैं सभी लोगों को जोड़ के एक कॉमन टॉपिक पर बात करूंगा और जहां से एक सोल्यूशन निकालूंगा, तो ये सोल्यूशन जो हम यहाँ से निकाल के ला रहे हैं, अगर इसको हम अपने लाइफ में प्रैक्टिकली इंप्लीमेंट करें तो सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट का गोल 2030 में हमें पूरा करने का लक्ष्य रखा है. बट डेफिनेटली वी कैन डू इट बिफोर दैट. तो हम सब मिलकर साथ आए और इस पर काम करें. जय हिंद, जय भारत, भारत माता की जय. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Honorable Excellency. Yes, all together we have to take care of it because this is our responsibility. This is our planet, and individually and mass efforts are also required. And we have to also take care of our rivers and groundwater. Thank you so much, sir, for your all valuable, insightful thoughts and views. Thank you so much. And as now we are moving into our next part of today's session, keynote speaker part. So with great pleasure, I would like to invite great youth influencer, humanitarian activist, speaker, moderator, educator, and he's the one of the key contributor of our Royal Council. With pleasure, I would like to invite Ambassador Noor Ahmed, sir. Hello. The stage is your, Noor Ahmed, sir. Please.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can, loud and clear, I can hear you.
Well, first of all, please take my sincere apologies because of I can't able to open the camera right now because of I am in remote area. So if I open my camera, my sound can be distracted. So I can continue, but meanwhile, I will try to open as well as I will talk. So yes, today we'll talk about the SDG 14. And before that, our chief guests have shared such a wonderful way and in details about this SDG 14. And why SDG 14 is very important, because this is definitely a very important SDG. All 17 are SDG important, but this one burning SDG, I have to say, because as we all are thinking about our surface area, but we are not thinking about the water that much. So let's talk about the life below water. As we all know, there is more than 3 billion people rely on the ocean for their livelihood, and over 80% of the world merchandise trade is carried out by the sea. As you all know, the ocean contributed to poverty, education, sustainable economic growth, and food security. However, the benefit they provide is increasingly undermined by the human activities. As you all know, rising carbon dioxide emission are dividing ocean warming, acidification, and deoxygenation, which threaten the marine ecosystem and the people who depend on them, and are overwhelming the capacity of ocean to moderate climate change. My dear Honorable Excellency, all overfishing depleted the fish stocks, a third of which already overexploited. I will show you some information regarding that later. So let's focus on land-based pollution, including plastic pollution, as already shared by our chief guest, as well as the nutrition and sewage runoff adversely affect the coastal habitat and the communities. These changes have long-term repercussions that require urgent scaling up the protection of marine environment. Investing in ocean science and support for the small-scale fishing communities, the sustainable management of the ocean can be done perfectly. As you all know, I will show you some information that is the extent of the marine protection areas have increases significantly, with 2020 coverage reaching 7.74% of global coastal water and ocean. Then 10% target set for 2020 may still be met, because several sites planned for designation in 2020 were delayed. Between 2000 to 2020, the the main percentage of key diversity areas covered the protection areas grew from 28% to 44%. However, increasing has plateaued and its coverage rose by only 1% point over the last 5 years. On average, over half of each KBA remain outside of our form of protection. So I'm not focusing on so much in details. Now I would like to share my PowerPoint. If you allow me and make me co-host, it would be great. So my dear Honorable, just make me co-host.
I would like to request our technical team to make Honorable note.
Okay. All right, you can see my screen. Hello?
Yes, dear.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, as we all talk about this, as I am talking about the SDG 14, I already shared the information and these are the target. If I'm not wanting to go through the target at all because these targets are already know all of you, but yes, this target, each and every target is very meaningful because this is affected our ocean as well as it can be implemented and made the challenges by 2030 if we made all the targets. So let's move on. And yes, look at this information that is 85% of our ocean are their limit. Already we have used 53% fully exploited and 32% overexploited. So this is another burning issue for each of us. So let me share you something. Yes, there is some challenges. As I shared earlier, there is over 3 billion people dependent on marine and coastal.
Noor sir, kindly unmute yourself.
Let's focus on the third one. Sorry for this. All right. So let's focus on third one. There is coral reefs, which provided a home that is 25% of marine are being destroyed at the alarming rate. This is a very, very pointable challenges for the SDG 14 love below water. Yes, all we have focused on some challenges, some information, some survey information, but how many of we are thinking about the solution? Yes, today I'm going to share you and show you some solution as well as per my research information. That is I will focus the 5 ocean-based solution can support these SDGs. Number 1, that is fully traceable, sustainable seafood. If we fully trace this sustainable seafood, I think it would be, ocean-based solution can be done. Let's focus on the number 2, that is decarbonized shipping. This should be implemented very, very immediately because as you all know, all the sail, all the ship, all the vehicle in the ocean level, they are actually facing doing some kind of carbon. They actually implement and they also improvise some carbon related chemicals, and this is very, very much pointable. And let's focus on number 3, that is harnessing ocean electricity. This should be done. This could be another solution. And number 4, that is mapping the ocean. If we map the ocean, if we fully execute and fully examine that's what is going on and what are some problems, some solution, what will be the some probable project for that, it would be very great. And number 5, that's ending waste entering the ocean. This is already shared some of our chief guests as well as all the eminent place. This is definitely should be done. So let's move on. Yes, there's a number of projects have been done and have been doing to accomplish this SDGs 14. And I just want to point out on only one SDG, that is Blue Solution. Blue Solution is an organization. Actually, I mean the project name, actually they did an extremely good job in the ocean. They mapping the ocean, they implementing some guidance, some to accomplish this project, as well as they also maintain some guidance policies, as well as they also implement some solution to the others. If we follow this kind of solution, it would be great and it would be very commendable for the others to do the project as well. So let's move on to the next. Let me give you some business ideas relating to this SDG. So here you go. Number 1, that is this key business theme that I want to address by this SDG 14. Number 1, there's marine biodiversity. If you are doing some business like marine biodiversity, it would be profitable as well as it can meet our SDG 14 as well. So number 2, that is ocean acidification. Yes, absolutely. This would be another business theme. And environmental investment. Already some of the organizations, some of the NGOs are been doing such a great way, but this is not that much enough. We have to do more than regarding this. And spills as well. Or we also think about the spills. Even we also focus on the sustainable sourcing. We are using, or we are overfishing, we are doing something, we are also use the sea as a transportation. So we have to think about the sustainable source where we can do and we can meet this SDG 14 as well as our business profit. So let me give you the number 5, that is water discharge to ocean. This would be a theme of a business. So I'm not going to that much about that, but I would like to give you some indicators about this theme. The example of key business is action and the solution. That would be a very notable. If you are focusing on the SDG 14, so you have to think about this kind of business action and solution can be possible. So number 1, that is traceable the life cycle of product and materials. If we track, trace, if we trace the cycle of products and materials, which is actually transported through the ocean, that would be another business solution for us. Number 2, that is prevent waste management. We have to definitely, some of our mismanagement, we have to think about our waste with some, we can do some electric production by the waste management. We can do something if we use our waste and in the some great way to improvise, to implement, even to produce some electricity, to produce some other things, it would be great, because we have to think about this, because every waste is, we are just throw over there, ocean over ocean, and ocean are that much not productive at all. So let me focus on the number 4, that is raise consumer awareness. That is can be done by everyone. My dear honorable excellencies, yes, if your business theme is kind of things, but apart from that, if you are thinking, sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Sorry. for this inconvenience. Actually, this is very tough to use the phone as to share the screen. As you know, the number of notifications going on all the time. Anyway, I'm just completing my thing within very short time. Okay. Number 5, that is, okay, I'm just focusing on raise consumer awareness. My dear, all the excellencies, if you are using the smart devices, if you are thinking about this life below water is a really meaningful SDGs for you, you can share some of your solution, some of your awareness, some of your themes regarding this SDGs, and share or make a video, make a note, and share all your social platforms. That would be another footstep for you to accomplish this. So let's just focus on that is contribute to the development, utilize a value chain approach. That would be another solution. So these are the solution and the business indicator if you are going through that. But if you are not focusing on the business, don't think about it. Just do some awareness activities, because as we are a student, as we are some young professional, we have to think about the SDGs meaning. Actually, why SDGs coming, why it is very indicative. So we have to think about for our end, we have to research something, and we can do some awareness, message awareness activities through these SDGs. So yes, I would like to conclude my speech by using our note that is we need to educate the public not only about the big changes that we have faced because of the damage to our ocean, but also about all the small way our life will change inexorably as the impact of our action is increasing field, as well as what can be done to rectify the solution. This is the message from the Kitnek Lim, Secretary General, IMO. So, my dear Honorable, that's all about my words. So, what I have to say, do something for your end. If you are not doing that much, business or some other project, do something awareness business, awareness video, awareness message. That would be a step for you, for your end. So never stop yourself, do something, and all the youth, please study of this disease and think about and making some videos regarding that, and we can do and make stronger, as well as we can meet our all the SDGs target by 2030, inshallah. Thank you so much, Honorable. Thank you so much for hearing me with patience.
Thank you so much, Excellency. And yes, it's a burning SDG, definitely. And I would like to thank for sharing the footsteps, especially that 5 oceans-based solution and key business themes and action and solutions. And thanks for the sharing about blue solutions. Yes, we required it, and we eagerly required it. Definitely, this suggestion will really help. And now, going ahead, I would like to invite our next keynote speaker. She's from Cameroon, and she is ambassador for person with disability. So I would like to call Miss Cynthia. The floor is yours, madam. Please continue. Miss Cynthia. I would like to invite Carolyn Mam from Nagaland. With great honor, please share your valuable thought, madam. Kindly unmute yourself, madam.
Greetings, everyone. Apologies. My power just went out. So yeah, until my power comes back. Thank you, Dr. Raja, for the invitation and giving the honor to speak amongst the amazing speakers. And actually, today is my father's second death anniversary, 14th of May. So that was one of the reasons I was elsewhere. But today it reminded me so much of my dad because it speaks about hygiene. 14th SDG talks about the life of undersea, life underwater. It reflects, water is a part of our life, and, we have to preserve it. As we all know, the speakers have wonderfully shared so many things. I missed many of the talks, but I'm sure they have shared a lot about it. It's our lifestyle. We need to sensitize. That's what I can say. There's a confusion. I cannot say much about people's lifestyle that is overseas because, I cannot judge people through media. But in here, let me start from my home, India. I've been to several places across the country traveling. And what I have witnessed is people should not get confused between religion and being hygiene. Many of the things, religious rituals are done in the water. And sometimes just the feeling, what I feel is what if the water is clean and they perform the rituals, all the waste are thrown in there, and then people continue to, I think this lifestyle should be sensitized. I'm not trying to blame them because maybe they're not aware, or maybe it must be, hurtful when I say this, but I guess we need to focus on one thing, and that is sensitizing the hygiene lifestyle in any form. It could be on land, it could be in the waters, and then there's one lacking, that is the drainage system is not proper. And we really don't know what to do with the garbage or sewage, it's just gathered. Some time ago, I saw an ad which was in Singapore, I just came across through YouTube that Singapore is managing their waste through what do you call that? As you make bricks, right? The kilns, somehow like that, like a factory where they burn all the waste, and the waste doesn't actually affect the air. Maybe they are converting that air. Sorry, my power is back. So yeah, when the waste are burned, what happens is, I think that the fumes are converted into some kind of energy. And also some time ago, I came across a person at one of, who was the place? Yes, Hyderabad, I guess. So this person, he told me waste management, about the waste management. He said they can convert into biofuels. I think that's a bright idea. I don't know, his first project was done in South Africa. I wish we can have it here in different parts of the country because we have lots of waste. And yeah, so I don't know, they did a big project out there. I think that's a very good thing. And in India as well, I heard it was done in Pune, I guess. I'm not quite sure. But I wish we can have many of those. Maybe we can encourage them, the government, like, take up such projects and, of course, sensitize the communities. Like now, the village people are people living in the village. People living in the village community are very much aware of things around them because there are many NGOs visiting them, educating them on several grounds. So I think people living in the village have a much more healthier lifestyle, as in my village case. But if I go elsewhere, even in my city, we have very poor waste management. And where does all of this waste go? At the end of the day, these waste are all dumped in the sea. And not everybody lives in the hillocks or plain areas that is not surrounded by the sea or the rivers, but we all depend on the water. So what happens is, if we do not take care of it, it's definitely going to hamper us. Different kinds of disease we're going to attract, like what Ambassador Nur Ahmed said. So the root of all this mess is our lifestyle. And, since we are not living, like especially us, I can say in my case, we don't live around the sea, so we do not get much to be told about the awareness of like, I need to keep my water bodies clean or something. But I think there are many places people are trying to sensitize, but I think we should also take this as a mainstream, equally like when, equally give importance both to the, like, just like we try to keep our lifestyle hygiene and healthy on land, I think this equal stress should be given for the water bodies also, because all of this, we live in a cycle, right? So we coexist and we cannot do without each other. If there is, healthy cycle on land, then it's very obvious the water, it completes. It's a cycle. So I think this issue needs to be sensitized, be it people living in the plains or like where there's no water bodies. You cannot expect, of course, there are like rivers, streams, all of these ways are being deposited to the main bodies. And of course, I think the best, I cannot give the best solution, but of course, maybe we should, learn how to treat this waste, and then, look into it, like how to this waste management section, maybe, and then maybe we can, of course, even though we're talking about the water bodies, but we ourselves in real life, I mean, on land as well, even though there is no water, of course there's water bodies, but even though we're not living around the sea or the ocean, we have unhygienic lifestyle, so I think we can focus on the waste management, and maybe then only we will be able to sensitize the rest of it. Everything comes hand in hand, I guess. So this is what I have to say. I don't know if I have taken much time, but thank you so much once again for giving me this platform to speak.
Thank you so much. First of all, we appreciate you for the fact that though you had a power cut, you looked at alternate option to share your thoughts with us. And you had also put in efforts to give us these inputs. So thank you. And every point that you said, okay, it really conveys how important these are and how we need to really look at it to ensure that we are able to contribute to it, and we are able to also inspire others to contribute to this larger goal of United Nations. So thank you so much for joining. And with that, let me call our next speaker. Mr. Manzoor actually got disconnected a few times. I hope you're available now.
Yes, I'm available. Yes.
Awesome. So, Mr. Mansoor Shah is an international speaker and a Cambridge O-level trainer as well. So over to you, sir, for you to share your thoughts with us.
Well, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone. I would like to pay my thanks to Mr. Rajarao for organizing a global event. And the SDG 14 is really an important sustainable development goal, right? Like below the water. So, dear audience, the world's oceans, their temperature, the chemistry, current, and life drive global systems that make the Earth, habitable for humankind. Water is really important for all of us. The thing is that how we manage these vital resources, it's essential for humanity as a whole, and to give our contribution to manage this water in a proper way. That is our real role right now. Our 3 billion people depend on a marine and coastal biodiversity for their livelihoods. However, today we are seeing 30% of the world's fish stocks overexploited, reaching below the level at which they can produce sustainable yields. Moreover, the SDG aims to sustainably manage and protect marine and coastal ecosystem from pollution, as well as address the impact of oceans acidification. Enhancing conservation and the sustainable use of oceans-based resource through the international law will also help mitigate some of the challenges facing our oceans. If we talk about the facts and figure, the oceans covers 3/4 of the Earth's surface and represent 99% of the living space on the planet by volume. And ladies and gentlemen, the ocean contains nearly 2 million identified species, but actual numbers may lie in the millions. As much as 40% of the ocean is heavily affected by pollution, depleted fisheries, loss of coastal habitat, and other human activities. And the oceans absorb about 30% of carbon dioxide produced by humans, buffering the impacts of global warming. Now, if we further talking about that life below water, how it's impact that. So it's our job to stop polluting the marine's life. Because if the marine life is, clean enough, the oceans are clean enough, we are giving chances like other creatures to live as well. So what are certain our targets to achieve that? By 2025, prevent and significantly reduce marine pollution of all kinds. First, in particular from land-based activities, including marine debris and nutrient pollution. So it's our job to clean that well as well. By 2020, we manage and protect marine and coastal ecosystem to avoid significant adverse impacts, including by strengthening their resilience and take action for their restoration in order to achieve healthy and productive oceans. Now, minimize and address the impact of oceans acidification, including to enhance scientific cooperation at all levels. Again, by 2020, effectively regulate harvesting and overfishing, illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, and destructive fishing practices, and implement science-based management plans in order to restore fish stocks in the shortest time feasible, at least to level that can produce maximum sustainable by yield as determined by the biological characteristics. Dear audience, by 2020, conserve at least 10% of coastal and marine areas consistent with national and international law and based on the best available scientific information. Prohibits certain forms of fisheries, subsides which contribute to overcapacity and overfishing, eliminates subsides that contribute to illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, and refrain from introducing new such subsides. Recognizing the appropriate and effective special and differential treatment for developing and at least developed countries should be an integral part of the World Trade Organization. Fisheries subsidies negotiation is required. But our target, we need by 2030 increase the economic benefits to small island developing states and at least developed countries from the sustainable use of marine resources, including to sustainable management of fisheries, agriculture, and the most important thing that is the tourism. Increase scientific knowledge, develop research capacity, and transfer marine technology, taking into account the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission criteria and guidelines on the transfer of marine technology in order to improve ocean health and to enhance the contribution of marine biodiversity. The development of developing countries, in particular small island developing states and at least developed countries. We need to provide access for small scale like fisheries to marine resources and markets. Last but not the least, we need to enhance the conservation and sustainable use of oceans and their resources by implementing international law as reflected in UNCLOS, which provide the legal framework for the conservation and sustainable use of oceans and their resources as recalled in paragraph. Okay. So it's our job to clean those oceans from pollution, like the illegal use of fishery. It's our job to clean the water from adding like the oil from those ships. And if we will be succeeded to give marine life like a real life, pure life, full of those essential components and impure from all those impurities, including those oil. So I believe that we will be able to get those targets for 2030. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for giving me this opportunity to discuss this issue globally.
Thank you so much, Honorable Excellency. I would like to tell my sister Anita Rajuji to continue this. Over to you, Anita.
Thank you so much. And before we move to the panel discussion, we have an impromptu guest. Okay, because he is available with us, we wanted to get his thoughts as well. Could I call Mr. P.K. Rajput? Is it Dr. P.K. Rajput?
Hi, good evening, Dr. Anita ma'am. Thank you so much for inviting and very, very good evening to everybody. Thank you, Raja Rao sir. It's a great opportunity to be listening on such an important topic where all the eminent speakers, they've spoken so well about it. So I was thinking that what to speak because our entire body, our 60% of the body is made of water. So I will correlate the things, water and what is the requirement and how the way we take care of our body, because if the water is not there in the body, you know how the things are going to be bad. The dehydration, this problem, that problem, so many things are there. So when we are talking about this, the goal number 14, which is very, very important, see the SDG goals which is there. I was just reading that on the goal number 3, we are talking about the good health and well-being. Again, it is related to the water. Goal number 6 is clean water and sanitation, again related to the water. Goal number 8 is decent work and economic growth, which is again related to the water. Goal number 11 is sustainable cities and communities, again related to the water. Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production, climate action, and the life below water. So you see that when the SDG has been made 2015, the 17 goals, out of that, it is related to the part which is very, very important. And what the way the speakers they've spoken about it, it is very important for all of us to be a careful person. Because I resonate the word of Engineer Raviji, the way he was talking about it, that we should be responsible. We know that we are talking about a thing which is like like a small drops in the entire ocean, right? Which has to be taken care by the people. The way Mr. Noor has given the complete detail, the way Ramya madam, she has spoken about the things. So if you start correlating the things, the way teacher Razolina, she was talking about the things, spite of so many entrants and all, if you start putting the thing properly, I think we can reduce the marine pollution, which is there. The marine engineers, the people who are taking care, they can take care for that part. We can restore our ecosystem, because for that we are responsible as a citizen of India or the citizens of the universe. We are responsible. We can reduce the ocean acidification, which Mr. Noor has spoken about it. Sustainability of the farm fishing, which is again very important because it's a huge business. And if you really put the things in a proper way, I think we will be able to add lot many things. And conserve the coastal and the marine areas, which is again part of this important conservation, and increase the economic benefit from sustainable use of the marine uses. So I summarize about it. I just took up the couple of the points which the eminent speaker has spoken, and I also resonate with the entire point. And thank you so much, Raja Rao sir, for inviting me. I missed on the second day when I was supposed to speak about it, but at least I'm able to be a part of it. Thank you, Anita ma'am, that you invited me and you made my this entire 17 days a very, very, very wonderful day, that yes, I'm able to listen and I'm also able to contribute with little of the knowledge which I have gained in this wonderful platform. I'm really humbled. My gratitude to you and my gratitude to everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your input, sir. So next is a very, very important session. We are getting into panel and we're going to focus on certain topics, the targets of SDG 14, the subtopics we're going to talk about. I need powerful speakers with thoughts to come forward. I'm going to just put on screen the first theme and whoever wants to speak on that in a crisp manner, if you have 4 or 5 clear statements that you think will change, will contribute to this goal tremendously, we can go ahead and share our thoughts. I'll share my screen now. You're able to view my screen? Brother Tiwari, you're able to view my screen?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. So what we need from you is a powerful pitch for these themes. Sorry. 1 second. Sharing isn't working. 1 second. You're able to see now? Awesome. So let us see the first 4 targets. Okay, overall we have 10 targets when it comes to SDG goal number 14. So we have reduce marine pollution, protect and restore ecosystems, reduce ocean acidification, and sustainable fishing. So these are the 4 broad topics that we are going to cover first. May I invite 1 or 2 speakers? Could you volunteer and share your thoughts on one of these? You don't have to talk about all 4. You can pick up one theme and talk about it.
Sure. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. In fact, today morning only we had a meeting of core research group, and we had some retired Lieutenant General, Colonels, Directors DODO, and it was with some special reference to the pilot studies we people had carried out, including myself in late 90s and the Lieutenant General and the Director DRDO in 80s. And we are trying to take up it further. There, it was observed that some of the techniques which are mentioned in ancient Indian knowledge system, it deals with the species in water. One of the experiments which I referred once was by Dr. Chauhan, who is an oceanographer. He tried to mix certain ppm of the ash from Havanas, and it was observed that at specific ppm, the water becomes potable And the experiment was done with fish, how it gets survived in the polluted water. The pollution was out of, the textile industries create a lot of pollution. So effluent of textile water, that was being done. And yes, there is some solution which can happen. And today morning only we had a long 2 hours discussion on this, how such kind of research can take up. I would like to appeal, Raja Rao sir, that yes, organizations like Institute for Studies in Vedic Sciences, Vishwa Humanity, or our Vishwa Global platform, such organizations can come together and think of it. Along with other activities, we are also taking up research in all these directions very seriously, and one of them is dealing with the water species, how it can survive, because it was observed that when we mix this ash, BOD is enhanced, pH is corrected, and such kind of pilot studies have taken place, and then we are also working on taking up bigger level of studies in this, with involvement of members from about 55 countries with which we are connected with at present. And yes, seems to be a solution. And there are problems. There is something like this which can happen, and we will be able to reverse this world which was going in the wrong direction, to come back, and we need to hand over the world, the earth, to the next generation, probably how it was 100 years back. And we were discussing today that yes, the solution also could lie in the ancient knowledge system. We need to look at it from the modern research perspective. So thank you very much, Raja Rao sir.
Thank you, Mr. Shrikant. And could you also share 2 tips if you have to address to the global population, and if they have to start something from tonight, what would you suggest? Could you just give 2 tips to people that
when
they
we
can start
tonight? We can't blame the plastics. My student was there who is working on recycling of plastics. And plastics, if you do not have there, then the loss of people during COVID would have been at least 10 times than what number of people we lost in the world. So what is important from tonight is responsible disposal of the plastic waste, which is really creating problems. So if you say that what we should do from tonight is that we should understand how to responsibly deal with the waste, especially the plastic waste. He is importing the waste from Europe with an office in Dubai, and then we are processing on that in India. Why can't we do that in India itself? It's because the quality of waste that we are getting from Europe is better than the waste that we are getting from Asian countries. That's why we are importing the waste also from Europe and then treating that. Because probably European Unions understood it better than us, probably prior than us. So we in Asian countries also can think of that. And then if we are working on waste, because we process more than 1 ton of plastic waste every day in its 2 factories. So we'll be able to make it 10 tons, provided the plastic waste management can be dealt with more seriously. So maybe that from tonight itself, I can decide that, yes, I will not throw the waste the way I am throwing it now. And I will help for its reprocessing. We can't get rid of plastic, but we can understand how to dispose of plastic so that it can be recycled. We are working on 7 grade of plastic, as he showed you the wrappers. Nothing can be done with that. So what we have done is we have contributed in the form of developing a chemical process so that at appropriate heat, when it is heated and we add certain chemicals to that, it can get converted into plastic furniture, plastic tiles, and many more plastic products that can be done. So I think from tonight, this is very simple thing that we can think of it. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So all of you that are watching this now or tomorrow, whenever you're going to watch this video on YouTube, please remember that you need not make a global change by taking very many steps. You need not, I mean, invest so much into it. You need not go out of the way to do anything. All you need to do is responsible, judicious disposal. Please try to understand and see how we can contribute to this from now onwards. So let's also get the other experts who can share with us a few tips. Chris, 1 or 2 tips if you want to give us, okay, on how we can eradicate this very soon and what should we do as every individual, not as a society, not as a community, as just one individual. If I have to do something to contribute to this goal and to achieve this as per the timeline given by UN, what are we supposed to do? Let's move to the next theme, and I invite speakers to talk about this. So the next 3 large themes are conserve coastal and marine areas, end subsidies contributing to overfishing, increase the economic benefits from sustainable use of marine resources. You may volunteer to speak.
Okay, I may come in now, Zoom, whereby apparently now this summit actually is a very good forum. Like what just now these doctors, Rajkot have mentioned and say so. Okay, but anyhow, in this whole world, everyone are taking things for granted. And I want to put a point here is that now, nobody has realized that all human mankind living in this earth, except there's a few countries, perhaps they may have realized that 85% of the human being in this living earth, all of them, they are sick. Only the balance of the 15%, 10% is in between, okay? And in one time, they will get sick. Only 5%, they are 100% are healthy. Okay, and these 5% are the people who they find that the life of water are so important, and yet, and just because we would like to be so-called feel complacent, and also in a way because we are looking forward for the social economy development, and we have neglected it. So what I would like to say so here is that the 5% of the people who are looking forward now, in fact, they are looking for the other common kind of water, let's say through our daily life usage, from any of the reservoir or whatever they pump in from the sea or from the river, they come from there after the through kind of distillation or all this and that. You still cannot give you the good water. But the latest technologies, they are moving right now. You can take it and set an example in Japan. Everybody are moving forward now, going for the hydrogen water. Hydrogen water consists of 3.33 ppm kind of distillation of water that will keep a person to be 100% kind of healthy. So in conclusion, what I would like to say here is the life of water, each and every one of us in this living earth throughout the whole world should be with deep concern, okay, feel the urgency and the importance of it. Or else it will eventually will reduce each and every one of us of our lifespan. With that, I hope that everyone can save the lifespan of the water and make good use of it. With that, thank you.
Thank you. Actually, it was an eye-opener for us to know. All of us are thinking that we are hale and healthy, and amidst the COVID, we were able to survive. But really looking at it, we are not okay. He says that almost 85% of people are sick all the time. And even 10% are between here and there. So if only 5% of healthy people are there, we need to really think what's going to be our lives and the status over a period of time. A few countries have realized, that's what even Shrikant Kalurkar sir was sharing. So a few countries have understood this well ahead of time. They've started taking measures. But if we have not done something before, it's okay. Let's not really be worried about it. But let us start today. Each of us need to take a crucial step. because we are thinking that we are working on United Nations agenda. We are thinking that this is World Peace Commission's agenda, or we are thinking that it is Royal Council's agenda. It is not. This is an agenda for us. It is our lives. We need to survive. We need to make it work so that our next generation can breathe. They can have water. They can have, a life around them, and they need not carry oxygen cylinders with them, and need not run around for water and the water resources. So let's take this powerful statement, and if we have any other speaker who wants to share, what do you think we need to do? Your message could be to any government body, or your message could be to an individual, or your a message could be to a segment of people who need to take action. Please go ahead and share your thoughts. Any participant who wants to volunteer and speak?
Sir, I'm traveling. Sir, I'm traveling right now.
We'll move. Yeah. So this is the last theme. Maybe we can have one more speaker to talk about 14A, B, and C. So increase scientific knowledge, research, and technology. Sure. Sure. So increase scientific knowledge, research, and technology for ocean health, support small-scale fishers, and implement and enforce international sea law. So do you have any insights around this?
Yeah, regarding the small-scale fishers, we were working on a project for Mumbai Port Trust some time back. The major problem is the small-scale fisher cannot go deep into the sea. And if he has to go deep into the sea, the problem is about the fuel. And we are just now, one of our speakers was mentioning about carbon emissions from the ships. So what is important is, one thing is the safety of the fish when it goes into the deep sea, because if it goes into deep sea, it can get better quality of fish. It adds to the profitability of the fisherman. Another thing is, can he make use of solar and wind energy available there? And we can design the kind of ships which are suitable for small fishermen, so that it will reduce the carbon footprints, and at the same time, it will enhance the profitability of these people. So maybe there was a problem which was given to us from Mumbai Port Trust, and we were working with them for this as a part of project from Athara College of Engineering.
Thank you. Thank you for that insight, sir. Is there anyone else that wants to add to this? Or should we ask Dr. Raja Rao and Carolyn Mam to share a few words on this topic itself, and then we can go. Sure, sure. So, sure, sir. So I really, I thank each of you personally for your incredible participation and contribution, and on behalf of Vishwa Humanity. And I request Raja Rao sir to thank. Sure. True. Sure.
Thank you. Great job, Dr. Ed. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Sir, thank you. Thank you, sir. I just want to say I am really humbled. My gratitude to you because I was feeling very bad when I was not there. So I said, whatever said and done, and I got the opportunity that today I was there. I don't want to miss. I attended the entire program with lot of love, affection, compassion, listening all the wonderful speakers. So I felt that yes, I am a part. I have not missed that thing. So I was feeling that regret. But thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, the today topic is very interesting topic, that life underwater, below water. Always the nature speaks about balance. Balancing is very important. We need to understand. So, but after knowing well that nature speaks about balance, that we need to balance our life, balance the ecosystem, but we try our best level to make it imbalance. As we know already, we heard eminent speakers spoke about life below water, how the water has been contaminated, and the impacts of polluted water, especially on living organisms, even human beings. Human beings are still suffering with a number of diseases, still not, though many international laws, national laws are imposed, still human beings trying their best level to contaminate water, but it is directly, indirectly affecting the lives of human beings as well, the living organisms. So we need to understand, especially we are knowledgeable and intellectual people. So human beings need to understand much how best we need to act and support the living system and the ecosystem. That is very important. So the laws are not meant only for framing, but to be imposed and implemented for the welfare of the globe. That is very important. So I would like to thank each and every eminent chief guest who has given us good inputs and insights, like Poonam Mam, Ravishankar sir, Noor Ahmed sir, and Carolyn. Like there's so many, all the speakers, chief guest speakers, keynote speakers, they have given excellent inputs and insights, which are very important. We need to understand the entire sustainable development goals from 1 to 17, then only, and it has to be implemented properly, then only we can live efficient life, and we can support the future generation. That is important. So really, it is amazing today. Every speaker, chief guest speaker, keynote speakers, and panel discussion also went on well. And Anita Raj ma'am and Tarun Tiwari sir, they have made very good PPTs, and really it helped a lot to know each and every area of this Sustainable Development Goal 14. So thank you very much. So my heartfelt thanks to all the chief guests, speakers, keynote speakers, and lovely host Anita Raj ma'am and Tarun Tiwari for taking the summit in an extraordinary way and to the next level. And I would like to convey my thanks to Vincent sir for being with us every day. So your August presence gives us great inspiration and motivation. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us and supporting us, encouraging us. And also I would like to thank Srikanth Kalluka sir. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us, Heavenly Father, and you are bringing a great inspiration to us that we need to be like you with the great patience and learn. We need to learn and have we have to imbibe a lot of knowledge and wisdom. So that we are learning from you. I would like to thank Rajput sir. Thank you, sir, for being with us, making the summit to the next, you're taking up to the next level with your presence and with your inputs, with your insights. Thank you very much, sir. So everyone who gathered and supporting us as speakers and viewers, my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to each and every one. And also I would like to thank my brother Pagadipalli Rajarao, who is taking the summit to the pinnacle of success with his efforts, with his dedication and commitment. So really we have to applaud Dr. Rajarao sir for making the summit a grand success. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you once again.